Will Levis, I think, is going to be an NFL quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's the most ripped quarterback I've seen. His arms were huge. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I usually say that stuff. That's cool.
Hey, I don't know. I'm not trying to paint myself in whatever picture you guys want, right? But I was like, whoa, that dude's got pipes. I was like, oh my God.
I think this was Caleb Wheelman's best game of the year by far.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yes.
He took the ball and ran when he needed to, especially on a lot of third down plays.
Oh, he's not a power back with afterburners. That can jump over people.
That's a great example. Power back with afterburners.
Yeah,
literally.
He's crazy. I mean, honestly, when you look at Philly's defense, their whole offense is, I don't know, one of the best in the league. I mean, Jalen Hurts at quarterback. You have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown as your top two wideouts.
Deion Sanders came out and kind of said that there's a lot of rumors of him making the jump, leaving Colorado to maybe take a look at that potential Dallas job that doesn't even exist yet.
Yeah, Michael Irvin said something today on a pod.
Yep, and Deion was like, no.
Get laced up.
Let's go.
It's time for Banter with the boys.
Yo, welcome back to Banter with the Boys. Gridiron updates, week 12. Rob doing his thing like always, messing me up. I got an intro prepared this week. I really do. It's Cody, welcome back this week, man. We're happy to have you back on the show right next to me here.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome
Feels
back.
like it's been too long already, so I'm happy to be back.
No, you're home.
It was a fun week of football.
Yeah.
Can't wait to jump into it.
For sure. Skull to the bull. Rachel, welcome. Our first female guest on any Banter with the Boys episode. We're super excited to have you on.
I'm like the Michelle Tafoya of this place, the
right, fair enough.
sideline
We need it.
female
Okay.
analyst. So
Yeah.
thanks for having me join.
For sure. Absolutely. Super excited to have you on. And then I guess, of course, next to me is Rob. It's all love, though. Rob, our co-host. What's popping?
Everything's good. We're getting through the football season, sitting at a nice number right now. And I'm excited just to talk
Who's
some
sitting at
football.
the nice number?
The Vikings, of course.
Of
The
they are.
hometown
Come
team,
on.
baby.
Come
You
on.
know how this
Go
goes.
to the bull. You already know.
Exactly.
Yeah. With that, let's get right into it. But before we do that, we did just want to make sure you guys know that this episode is brought to you by our sponsor, The Cappy. If you take a look right in front of us here at the helmets, Rob is grabbing a package of The Cappy right now. Little device that helps you open your cans, cover your cans, whatever you may be. It does have a little keychain hole, which this
Convenient.
one right here has a little keychain hole, so it's on my keys always. Mine's a little dirty, but just put it right under there. You can open that can right up. You can also flip it around and cover it. You know what I mean?
Look at that.
Cody, do you see yourself using a Cappy at any events?
Dude, I got my first Cappy last week. And before that, we have a 1.5-year-old. And we'd go in the stroller on rides. And you go on that tar road. And my Coca-Cola would be everywhere by about a block in. And the last week we've been on walks in the cold, but it has been phenomenal. Just keeps it covered.
Like it.
Helps me open it, and I can already see my wife.
Spin that thing around for us, all right, on the top. Boom. Boom.
Look at that.
If you take a look, it's not sealed, right? It's not meant to seal it, but like you
it's
said,
a
on the
splash
road,
guard.
it's a
It's
splash guard.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not going to pop out of there.
And yep, my wife has one, and I haven't had to open one of her Coca-Colas since then. So it's been awesome.
Oh, perfect.
There
we go.
That 4-pack covers the whole fam right there.
The
That's
4-pack
another good
does
thing,
cover
too.
it.
Another thing is that sharp little edge is a nice thing for little kids and another aspect of that. So enjoying that. So
Where can Rachel get the 4-pack?
she can get it on Amazon all day long. We have a link on the bottom of the page. So check it out.
So what are you doing after the show?
Oh, I'm gonna make some gin and tonics tomorrow over the weekend.
Fair enough.
And I don't always use all the tonic, so this will be amazing because my mother really likes fresh tonic, and so do I. So I can just snap that thing back on to keep my tonic
Yeah,
fresh
for a little bit. Yeah, why not?
until
Why
it's
not?
time for that next round.
Yeah, 5 minutes, 30 minutes.
I mean, it depends on the day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, whatever
Depends
it
if I
may
had
be.
a double or
And
a
how
single.
Whatever it may be.
See how the Vikings are doing probably. That's probably how it really goes.
Yeah, right. Depends, right? So with
So
that,
far.
with that again, thank you to the Cappy for sponsoring this episode. And with that, Kev, let's head right into our Week 11 game recaps. And of course, to start our game recap, week 11, Skull to the Bull. Yachty, no. Vikings getting the dub, 23. Oh, we're all skulling in here. Vikings getting the dub, 23. Oh, I'm bringing this to the game. I like it. That's for sure. Vikings getting the dub, 23-13 in Tennessee. Another road win for the Skull Squad. Cody, what excites you about this team now heading to Chicago?
Well, our defense is awesome. I mean, beating the Titans isn't our biggest feat of the season, but
Neither was the Jaguars, but still did it.
exactly. But we looked a lot better against the Titans than the
For
Jags,
sure.
so it just
Absolutely.
felt a lot better. Offense seemed to get on a roll a little bit more, getting the ball into Jefferson's hands, and I thought Hawkinson was going to be a little bit more involved than he was, but it's still good to see him out there catching first downs on third.
2
downs.
catches. What do you have about?
TJ?
Yeah, he had 2 catches, 13 yards. One of them was a first down, though, on like a 3rd and 7.
We need those.
He's always there for those, so
That
you got to
is.
love that.
Absolutely. You know what I didn't do, Rachel, when we introduced you? Did I even introduce her? Yes, I did. Okay.
Yes,
Wanted to make sure.
Totally.
Our
But
first
when I did that, I didn't let you let us know your football knowledge, what got you watching the game, all that, what got you, you know what I mean?
Oh,
When did you
sure.
start watching ball?
Well, I sure I was about 4 years old. That was just something my family always did every Sunday. And it was my dad's favorite sport.
For sure.
It was something we could do as a family. And it was a really good reason to get out of church. I was like, the game is on and the
gotta
church
go.
started at 11. Like, we got to get rolling.
There you going.
We're not going to eat after this, are we? We're going home, right?
Right.
So my friends get impressed and they're like, how do you know this stuff? I go, I've been watching this I'm not going to say my age, but I've been around a while. And I've been watching it since I was 4. So
Okay. Yeah.
Give or
so you
take.
got all sorts of
I got
experience.
some time on my hands here. Yeah.
For sure. You always been a Vikings fan?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the bull.
Yeah.
She's waiting for one too.
She's
I'm ready.
Right? I can't remember.
We all are.
One of the local podcasts here say something about like one before I die or whatever. Who is that? Is that?
I
That's
don't
like
know who-
everybody.
Can't
that
remember.
has
Probably
ever
everybody.
But
been
it's
a
somebody that
fan.
uses it. I can't remember if it's K fan or Score North, whatever. But shout out to them because they're local. But like we said, Vikings getting the dub. Rushing game was a little stagnant this week, and I think a little bit was honestly the Titans' defense. I think they were
Yeah.
giving it to them a little bit more than people were expecting. But what can we say about the Titans? What do you think about Will Levis, the quarterback for the Titans? How do you think he played? He's still young, right?
Yeah,
But-
he's still young. He had some good plays on us, but we have everybody coming at him all the time, right? So
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, bringing that floor
Flores
deep.
was sending that pressure.
I think the best thing about the Titans probably is their defense. That was one thing that going into the game I knew they would be pretty good.
For sure.
Right.
Top 10.
And they're a talented team, but they're young and they made they had a lot of penalties, right? Weren't there like
Yes.
14 penalties?
Yeah,
I think
when
you're
they're
right.
down,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
times
you're
in
right.
the game too.
Some really foolish ones. You're like, you didn't need to do that one.
Yep.
Well, they had a lot of plays they made, and then they just got called back. Thankfully, right? They went our way.
Right. A lot
So
of them did.
I
yeah.
wasn't mad at that, but I would be frustrated as a Titans fan
Yeah.
to see that.
You know what's kind of you asked about Will Levis. Out of the 5 games that we predicted for this week or this past week, and all the quarterbacks that we had, out of those 10, the one with the most passing yards was Will Levis.
Interesting.
At 295, yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
And 98 of them came off of one play. So that's
Yep.
a little tough. On the Westbrook Akine 98-yard touchdown. Other than that, he had 198 yards passing. So
Well,
True.
he
and
played okay, but his stats look pretty darn good.
and we talked about it last night, Rob. That 98-yarder. I mean, Metellus is in the right position. He's making the right move, and then he decides to flip his hips late for some
wrong
reason
way.
and try to back.
Yeah.
I don't even know. What
You
he's
look like a
going
linebacker versus safety in that
in
play.
that
you
in
know?
that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Will Levis looked like a NFL quarterback to me last year. This other game, they're really hurting on the offensive line. That defense is really good. They're rated number 1 in the NFL in the pass. So
Titans?
the Titans, and second in running. So or overall, so that's no joke of a defense right there. So we've actually played pretty well with them overall. I thought, I think we could have maybe stretched that game out a little bit more if we a couple plays a little bit more. But I'm gonna give Tennessee a little credit. Will Levis, I think, is gonna be an NFL quarterback.
Okay. I mean, he's the most ripped quarterback I've seen. His arms were huge. I'm just saying.
I usually say that stuff. That's cool.
Hey, I don't know. Hey, I'm not trying to like paint myself in whatever picture you guys want, right? But like, I was like, whoa, that dude's got pipes. I was like, oh my god. I did want to ask you, Rachel, what do you think of Sam Darnold's play? He's been, up and down the last few weeks. How do you think he played on Sunday?
You know what, Sam? So the interesting thing about Sam is we got to remember he was a number 3 pick. He was in the first
Overall,
round
yeah.
in 2018. Same with Lamar. Same with Josh Allen. We're going to talk about those guys later.
Yep.
So it's really interesting. They all have that in common, right? So I think he wants to win. He's super competitive, and he went to the Super Bowl last year. Like he's seen a lot.
Yeah.
This is his 4th team, and he is proving himself. And
I'd say he's
I'm glad to
thriving,
have him. I'm glad to have him. It's really fun to watch him, and he definitely wants to win. And he's spreading the ball around to a lot of teammates.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of people to pick from, right?
Yeah. He took care of the ball this week, is what we needed. I mean, it was kind of his good
100%.
revenge game off of,
That's what he needed.
of how he played it. He needed something, a game like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with, again, no rushing help almost. It was really non-existent. But got enough when it mattered. Anyway, let's move on. Again, we always love talking about the Vikings.
I know,
We
we
always
can
go
just go for
super
an hour
long
and a
on the
half on this.
Vikings. Okay, actually, one more question for Rachel. Cody, you've been on the show before. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope I know the answer.
Where was I going with
Pop
that?
quiz.
Oh, so next season, would you like to see if Sam continues on here? Would you like to see the Vikings sign him to like a 3-year deal while we kind of wait for JJ McCarthy to develop a little bit and heal from that injury, or are you like, if JJ's healthy, have you seen enough video of him or whatever that you'd be willing to let him start next season for the Vikings?
Well, I haven't really seen enough video, but I like what Sam's doing. I think it's a no-brainer to keep him.
Ooh,
For sure.
All
Okay,
right.
fair enough.
I mean,
fair
he's less expensive than our former quarterback and all the other
point.
guys that are playing that were in that same NFL draft, right? They're getting paid more, but his payday's coming.
He
right?
will.
He's
Yeah.
playing for a lot of things, pride and money, and again, he's competitive, so he does want to win. Why not make it Sam Darnold to get us to the Super Bowl? Why not? I'm ready.
Ooh,
I know
yeah,
that
why
ready.
not?
He's ready.
Yeah, imagine
Why
if
not?
we win the Super Bowl with Sam. How do we not keep him?
Oh,
Yeah.
If they win, they're keeping him.
Yeah,
No doubt.
I thought
But the
I
tough
was
part is
ready.
he's not going to be $10 million a year anymore. He's going to be
Correct.
$25, $30 million a year. And I don't know if we have the budget for that, especially after signing JJ to that big contract last year.
Thank God.
A little time with Kevin O'Connell turns you from a $10 million quarterback into a $25 million quarterback.
Just like that.
Just
Oh.
like that.
KOC.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Well, you know he has Josh McGowan, right? Like his former teammate.
Which
Yes.
is super interesting. Yeah.
QB coach. And they were also teammates in 2018 at the Jets. So
Right.
I think that's super fun for them. I don't know why I get a kick out of this, but I do.
No,
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
think it
a
makes a
factor.
difference.
Familiarity with
Yeah.
somebody else makes it.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? Makes a difference. Jeez.
Yeah. It's cool that he's a young coach and he was a quarterback in the league recently. I think that gives him a lot of pull in different places, both in the locker room and around the league.
You can trust him. He was just
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Not as good as he can coach it, but
Well,
he was
yeah.
doing it.
But
I
that's
know.
okay. Some people aren't as good at playing, but they're really good at coaching. Like,
Yes.
like yours truly, obviously. But you know, what I mean?
100%. Mike
And that
McDaniel.
4.240 speed right there.
Oh, calm down. Whoops.
Well, one last thing about McGowan. He was at a lot of different teams. So I think he was at 6 different teams. I don't remember exactly, but he's been around and seen different things, and it's just like KOC. He moved around and he was just learning.
Probably
right?
understands where Sam's coming from, trying to establish himself
Yeah.
in each spot.
Yeah.
But if I'm not right, was he the quarterback in Arizona that ended our season?
Oh, I don't know if it was that.
I
He
think
did play in
was on
Arizona.
that back. That was probably like 10 years ago. But we needed that win in the last week. Yeah, it was no good. But let's not talk about that stuff.
Yeah,
We're talking about
we're talking about
right
presents.
now. Yeah,
presents.
exactly.
Go to the
So,
bowl, 8-2 Vikings, of course, like we expected
Rachel's
and
just bringing up
predicted.
nightmares to me. So
100% of the banner
Sorry.
with the boys picked the Vikings to win that game. So
that was the easy one
no
of them
jump.
all. But
Yeah. Moving on to a game that wasn't so easy. We did have a couple picks here that went the other way, but Packers win on a blocked field goal. Packers traveling to Chicago. Tough game. Honestly, I was surprised I felt like the game was relying on both quarterbacks to make plays on their legs.
which
When
they did.
it mattered. I mean, I
Yep.
know Jordan Love only has 4 rushes, but all 4 of those mattered. You know what I mean? Caleb Williams also only had 9 rushes, but he also had 70 yards. Don't get me wrong. But both quarterbacks really led the team. That's what stood out to me in that game. personally, yes, the blocked field goal, and that sucks for the Bears with just their kicking woes, the double doink. Everybody knows it, but
I feel like they earned that though. That blocked.
they did. But I think the Bears played a good game.
They did.
Yeah,
They
I
played
think
an
they
excellent
played
game.
great.
They had their time possession. There was like 36 minutes. Love only threw the ball 17 times, which is a really low number for the Packers. But that's back to time of possession.
Time of possession.
The
They're
Bears
also
just
trying
held
to
it.
get Josh Jacobs 20+ carries,
Yeah.
which they still didn't do this game.
They didn't, So offensively, the Packers just weren't on the field a ton. So I think that's probably it was a good game plan for the Bears to keep the ball out of that high scoring offense, so they didn't have to go in a shootout. I think this was Caleb Williams' best game of the year by far.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yes.
He took the ball and ran when he needed to, especially on a lot of third down plays. So, but at the end of the game, they had 35 seconds left. They ran that little 2-yarder, and then they sat on the clock and winded on.
Yeah, you're upset about that.
I was very upset because I think you could have got another 5-8 yards because, I don't know, 46-yard field goal is not guaranteed. So you got to, kick it a little lower. Now you're playing outside, a little colder weather. These 50-yarders that we've been seeing in the beginning of the year are not going to be as round as much anymore. So
100%.
Especially at the outdoor stadiums, like you stated. I do want to bring up Christian Watson. I've been on his, he's been on my crap list, for lack of better terms,
Yeah.
all season.
had his best game of the year.
But yeah, Rachel, what did you see from Christian Watson this game? I mean, he balled out, to say the least.
Well, I don't really have a lot to say about him. I don't. So I'm going
Perfect.
to lean on someone else for that. I do think the Bears had every opportunity to win the game.
They did.
And their defense, is pretty good. So they just couldn't finish games. And then the field goal, like the Packers did know that he was going to kick it low. So they knew what they were going to do.
Yeah.
So there is a lot. I mean, I heard, mostly what I know about that game is that part, right? Because the end is what matters, and the end is what really sticks in our head.
And the Bears were going to send the footage into the league or
NFL.
whatever. What were they trying to claim? The guy touching the center or something?
You cannot go through the center during a field goal, and it was a gap if
Borderline.
you want to get. So it's a judgment call on that scenario.
We'll call it A+ gap maybe. It was,
So,
I
but-
mean, it was borderline, but I'm fine with the no call. You got to let
Either
them
way.
play at some point. You know what I mean? They still blocked the field goal. You know what I mean? You can't take that away from them.
They got it done.
Yeah,
And
it
but
was
Caleb
unreal.
Williams
And I
drove
hate
ball
the
down,
Packers.
so, yeah, it was good. I hate the Packers
Oh,
too.
Matt LaFleur has never, or the Bears have never beat Matt LaFleur. He's won 9
Ever?
times in a row.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
I did not
that.
know that.
9
Yep.
times in a row.
Yeah.
And they
So,
do
like,
they
for-
still need to travel to Green Bay? No, they already played them, right?
They're going to play in Chicago next, I think.
They just
I don't
played in
know.
Chicago.
I
Again, in Soldier Field. And I
Oh.
can't remember if they play them again this season or not, or if they already did. I thought they played them at Green Bay.
No.
No, they do play them again. I'm sorry. They end the season at Green Bay. The Bears
Okay.
do.
So Rachel's on point there with her schedule.
But but last season we kind of saw this with the Bears, right? They got to that second half of the season, all of a sudden they started picking up a little bit of steam. They all around, the whole team started playing a little bit better. Yes, they beat the Vikings in our house. I was there. That sucked. But they started playing better. You know what I mean? And we'll talk about it in the preview, but I'm a little bit nervous heading into this game into Chicago to play the Bears this week. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Nervous now.
I think it depends a lot on Caleb Williams. I mean, they have a great defense, but if they are constantly playing defense, it's going to be tough to stop anybody, right? Especially an offense like
But
we have.
if they're going to stop our run like Tennessee did this
Yeah.
week, I don't know. It's going to be in Sam's hands.
yeah,
to
then it
make the
might just
play,
be a
right?
6-3
6-0.
game. Yeah, exactly.
As long as we win, I don't care.
Yeah,
Hey, that's fair, right? The
100%.
W is
Sign me up
W,
for
right?
W's.
Yeah.
1-0 all year long.
For sure.
They will be hungry for a win, though. So I get what
Oh,
you're saying.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I hate to say it. I got my cape up here and everything, and I'm just a little bit worried.
All right.
Man,
We'll worry about that in a
Beeflo
bit.
defense
Yeah.
against a rookie quarterback. You
But yeah,
think?
it's true.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
true.
point.
We'll get to it. We'll get to
Yeah,
it.
I love it.
Commanders traveling to Philadelphia. A lot of people thinking the Commanders are just going to walk in there and get the dub, and Philly had other things
Not me.
planned. Getting it, not me either. I went 5-0, buddy.
that.
Eagles get the dub, 26-18 over the Commanders in Philly. Obviously, a tough place to play. But what a fourth quarter for Philly. I mean, they just absolutely exploded. Saquon is just on another level. Rachel, did you catch Saquon's spin move, reverse hurdle like 2 weeks ago? That
I
insanity.
didn't see it, but I did. I saw it after.
The
right?
highlights,
I mean,
yeah.
He is a beast. I mean, those quads are crazy.
Insane. No,
I know
they're
they are
huge.
for real.
He's got huge legs.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Tree trunks.
But Washington had they scored at the end of the game too, so they really gave them a run for their money.
They were winning at half.
Yeah.
Oh, for
They
sure.
didn't
No,
give up. They
Washington
do
was
not
looking
have
good.
give up itis at all, right?
No, it was a
No,
great
it was
battle.
a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great battle. Again, Saquon kind of carrying the Eagles, but Jalen Hurts didn't have a bad game either. More of that game manager role this time around, but we'll still sling that thing to AJ Brown.
I mean, Daniels looked like the game manager on that. He's 22
did.
for 32, 191, an average of 3.3. Is that come out that math like that? And he has 17 completions to tight ends and running backs. So he's not.
That's the checkdowns.
He wasn't pushing the ball down the field at all. So that's that little rookie. I'm going to give the defense because their secondary of the Eagles is really nice
Scary.
right now. So
and they're getting hot.
yeah, they're getting
They're
real
trending
hot
up
now.
right now. The Eagles defense.
Yeah, it was a solid game, but Daniels played all right. But Hurst played a solid game, and then Barkley just finished it off with those two touchdown runs. at
Dude,
the end
that
of it.
run to split the defense, his speed from just start to stop to start, I guess. That acceleration is just outstanding.
Yeah, he's a
From
stud.
Saquon. I mean, he's a game changer for Philly. I mean, he changed that offense. He was exactly what they needed. You could argue DeAndre Swift gave him that here and there too, but I mean, he's not Saquon.
He's not.
No,
Barkley.
he's not a power back with afterburners. That can jump
That's a
over
great
people.
example.
I
Power back
mean,
with after.
Yeah,
literally.
he's crazy. I mean, honestly, when you look at Philly's defense, their whole offense, their whole offense is, I don't know, one of the best in the league. I mean, Jalen Hurts at quarterback. You have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown as your top two wideouts. Zach Ertz is your tight end.
Dallas
Dallas
Goedert.
Goddard. I'm
Zach
sorry.
Ertz on the other side.
Back to
though.
2017.
He's on the other side of the
Yeah.
ball, though. Or the
And-
other team.
Yeah, and then Saquon in the backfield. It's just, I don't know. They're
hot. They're
unbelievable.
hot right now.
They're
Right now, I'm
kinda
looking
scaring
back,
me a
wondering
little
how I
bit.
picked the
That
Commanders.
was a
but-
fun game to watch, though. I will say.
And I picked
Back and
Dallas to win
forth.
the
Yeah.
division, so woe was me. So I hear you. I know.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of us
Football,
expected
elite
that-
football mind, if you will.
It's been a weird year.
Yeah, no. But yeah, Washington, they battled hard. Who do they got next? I don't think we're covering them this week. Let me look. We're not. So Washington, let's see. They go to the Cowboys. That's a win. They go to the Tennessee. That's probably a win. They go travel to the Superdome. That's going to be tough. Any game
I think
in
they're
New
losing to
Orleans is
Tennessee.
tough. You think they lose at Tennessee?
Yep,
Why is that?
because Tennessee defense is going to give them a lot of fits.
Yeah, fair enough, but I'm not that scared of the Tennessee offense either, though. That old line is just.
It's going to be 12-11.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. That's fair. But and then they wrap up with the Eagles one more time at home. Do they beat the Eagles in the rematch?
Oh, you put me on the spot, huh? The Commanders let me down the first time. I'm going Eagles the second time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their offense just looks so good.
Sure.
And I know Jaden Daniels is going to get better as the year goes on and as he gets more experience, but yeah, I think Philly's going to be a tough one to take down.
Absolutely. Rachel, last question before we move on. Philadelphia sitting at 8-2, leading the division. The Commanders sitting at 7-4 right now, second in the division. Do you think the Commanders still have a shot to win the division, the NFC East? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left.
I think the Eagles are going to take it home.
Take
They
the
just
division
have more
home, sure.
experience. I mean, Jaden Daniels, he's super fun to watch. He's really doing the best of all the rookie QBs out there. So props to him.
I would agree with that.
But I just don't see that happening because the Eagles are, right, like you said, peaking at the right time. This is
Wild
when you want to
card
get
team.
hot.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 100% they'll be a wild card team. And
Yeah.
they're going to be a tough out, though. They're not going to be an easy wild
No,
card team.
no.
But maybe their inexperience will oust them in win the wild card round. We'll see. We'll get there. We got plenty of football left. Speaking of plenty of football left, what a game we had between the Ravens and Steelers in Pittsburgh. A tough, hard-nosed game in the AFC North. I mean, exactly what we expected. It was a little lower scoring than I planned on. That Baltimore Ravens defense I was a little bit worried about, but they didn't play all that bad either.
Yeah, they played really well. I mean, I was looking at their statistics defensively. They're towards the bottom of the league, actually.
The Ravens?
The Ravens.
I know.
are.
That's why it's scary. That's why people are concerned about them maybe making that long run in the playoffs this year, literally because of their defense.
I mean, there was another awesome divisional game. It was 9-7 at half. It finished. Lamar was 50% throwing the ball. He had a few drops and stuff too. Henry fumble, second
Yeah,
play of
that's
the
big.
game, and
Yeah,
he
that's
hasn't
huge.
fumbled in
Change the Momo.
a decade. Yeah,
Change the Momo.
He didn't. Did he even have 100 yards rushing?
No.
he didn't
Not,
have. He
no.
was not a factor this
65.
time. So
yeah. Rachel would
handled their
agree with
biz.
that.
Yeah, what was your stat about Lamar Jackson at used to be called Heinz Field?
yeah. Well, the Steelers have won 8 and 9 against the Ravens. So Lamar's stats are the worst against the Steelers. So
They got his number.
they got his number. I don't know why. I don't know that, but that's what I do know. So for me, I wasn't surprised, and I knew that Steelers defense would come hungry.
They really
They
did.
wanted to get
though.
on
They
that
really
offense.
did, though.
Yeah.
Those Yinzers were lively.
Patrick Queen getting the,
He
I
played
guess,
great.
the revenge game
He
against
played
the
awesome.
Ravens. You know, great game from him. T.J. Watt at the end of that game was just outstanding, making it really difficult for the Ravens to do anything.
Interesting take though. Justin Tucker after the game was complaining about the field conditions or kicking, but then on the opposite side, Boswell went 6 for 6.
Yeah, I'm
With
sorry.
3 of them over 50, right?
Yeah,
and
so-
one at 57.
yeah,
Yeah,
and, like,
I don't know if it came down to the conditions.
But he missed how many field goals?
He was 1 for 3.
Yeah, 1 for 3.
Yeah, so
That's
but
not like
I mean,
him
he's the
either.
best to
That
do it.
didn't
I
help.
think he's just using an excuse.
Excuse,
What were you
he-
saying? Sorry.
Oh no, I was
early.
just gonna say he's a really great kicker, so that
Yeah.
is not like him. So
No, right,
whatever, something must have been.
But the Ravens need to clean up
Going
the penalties. They had 12 penalties in this game, which kept the Steelers actually probably in that game. I don't know their false start discipline. That's typically not a hardball team, but yeah, they've been sloppy all year. I know they have a lot of experience in that line. I think replacing 3 starters we talked about earlier in the
O-line,
year,
yeah.
and then a lot of false starts there and holdings and stuff. But with Lamar, he holds the ball so long, you're gonna get a couple holding penalties on that scramble extended play style.
Right.
You know, so yeah, the Ravens got to clean some stuff up. I don't, I think that their tape gets out a little bit more, and there's receivers still need to make some plays.
But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like you said, the offense needs to clean up though, because that defense ain't gonna do it for the playoffs right now. They got 6 games to fix it.
Yep,
But that offense needs to be almost perfect for them to be winning these games.
agreed. Lamar needs to be on his best. Yep.
For sure. Moving right along to our final game of the week. Probably the game of the week for us. I can't remember if we stated that last week or not. Probably the game of the week for the nation. Chiefs traveling to Buffalo. What a game this was.
Was the AFC Championship last year?
It has been
Chiefs
before. I
versus-
can't remember if it was last year or not. I mean, these teams got history. These quarterbacks got history.
Trying to think off the
At this point.
the old tip of the old brain.
But Buffalo really, they felt like they were kind of controlling the game almost the whole time. I know they got the score right before half, but to me, they just felt like they were in control, not really freaking out about
Yep.
anything. They just had a good rhythm on offense until that second half kind of started getting shaky, and then fourth quarter they just blew up. I don't know. This could be the AFC championship. What's the word I'm looking for? Preview. Jeez, thank you. Perfect. Thanks,
You're
Rob.
welcome.
Thanks,
yeah.
Rob.
Yeah, it was a solid game. Rachel, did you get a chance to look at this game at all?
Oh yeah, of course.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I'm happy for Josh Allen. He's got a lot of people to spread the ball around to. He's
Yep.
having fun. He's playing a little looser. It's not all on Josh Allen, right? He's can be a little more relaxed, and he made that big, huge touchdown,
At the
running
end?
touchdown at the end. That was, I don't know. I just thought that was fun.
Might be the best run I've
was
seen
excited
this
for
year
him.
out of a quarterback for a touchdown.
I mean, the Bills fans want that Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be nice? Vikings Bills this year Super Bowl.
It'd be great. Sorry for the Bills fans.
Sorry for the
losing
Bills
it,
fan,
though.
right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, are the Bills the same as us, 0-4 in Super Bowls? I can't remember.
You are
Yes.
correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
The 4 Falls of Buffalo.
So we might as well, right? Might as well. And one of us has to win, and it's going to be the Vikings, since we're going to go there.
No doubt.
But
I'm pretty sure we got Josh Allen's number.
I think it would be a really good game. But,
Yeah, it would be a great game.
But no, looking at this game again, a great addition for the Chiefs having Kareem Hunt back there while they're still waiting for Pacheco, who could return before playoffs. The Chiefs did just sign another receiver to their practice squad. It was a former second or third rounder, I think second round receiver. That's kind of a speedy guy from the Patriots. Can't remember his name, Taekwon something.
Didn't make my radar.
But that's what I mean. Like I didn't. Graham
Thornton?
told me about him, so I just had to. I told Graham I'd mention it. I want to mention it. He does have speed though, so
Okay.
maybe another guy you can try to get going with Xavier Worthy on that deep threat. Maybe try to open up DeAndre Hopkins a little bit more, or Kelsey. But
That offense is so weird. They spread it out. I was talking to somebody like
Inconsistent.
like fantasy wise, like there's no consistent guy anymore that's going. He's gonna get 10 targets, 8 catches. I mean, every play they're doing a sweep to Hartman. They have like 3 tight ends. Gray's catching touchdowns. Just so much randomness of that offense. They are missing that deep threat though consistently.
ever since Tyreek left,
Yeah, Worthy really hasn't developed quite into that
Not
yet.
yet.
But and Kelsey's still doing his thing. But what do you have? 2 catches this last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
But yeah, it was an interesting game. It was tight at half, and then the Bills just kind of made a couple extra plays in the second half, and it was and then kind of took the ball out of Mahomes' hands to come down and do a game-winning drive. So
Right. I think the Chiefs are missing almost like an X factor to kind of make the defense open up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think because there are some games when they play
Pacheco.
against defenses
Pacheco would
that
be
aren't quite as good. And, they kind of can focus on one guy that exploits everything, and they hit Kelsey for 10 targets and 9 receptions and 2 touchdowns. But yeah, they haven't had that X factor, and you guys said it. I think it's Pacheco. So that'll be, and like you said, Kareem Hunt has been a great fill-in. He's a great power back, but he's not. I don't know. I just don't know if he's somebody that the defense has to key on, that take another guy off of somewhere else.
Not
to
losing
choose.
sleep
He's
at
not
night.
the same. Yeah, it's not the same.
Not
Well,
a
they had-
passing threat as much.
Sorry, they did have a lot of injuries, right? Their running back, some of
Oh
their
yeah,
other
they're
receivers.
filled with
So
energy.
Right.
Yeah.
their defense is the reason they won those games, and they could have
They
easily
have been
won
solid. I would agree with
against
that.
the Broncos last week or the week before, and they're going to face the the Chargers and the Broncos in their division, so they could drop some games. They're beatable.
They're beatable. Okay,
I
that was
said it.
that was going to be my question. So obviously they were undefeated coming into this game, and now they got a loss. So right now we know they're beatable. But are you that scared of the Chiefs? You know what I mean? If
No,
the
not
Vikings had
right
to play the
now.
Chiefs for the Super Bowl, we'll just keep using the Vikings in the Super Bowl as an example. Might as well. But if they did have to play them, are you that scared of them? I'm scared of Patrick Mahomes, right? But
Well, of course. Don't get mad, Chiefs fans. I know a lot. You're awesome, but I think if right now this is the best team that anyone could beat, right? we
that's
knew they
almost
were-
the draw you want in the playoffs.
When in our in our
Once you're
Super
down to
Bowl
the last
appearance-
4, right? You're going into the divisional matchups now. You're not that scared to play the Chiefs if you're say the Ravens or.
Well, I think the Bills. I think that's the matchup, right? The Bills. I hope they get there for their fans. Ravens. Their defense is just not. It's going to be their demise probably.
There it is.
Okay.
Calling it
There it
out,
is.
Rachel. Mark that down,
There it is.
Ravens fans.
Ravens defense will be the demise.
We'll put her
of
Twitter
their
on the bottom
season.
of this so you can.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Ravens
you can
fans.
throw some comments or.
Sorry, Jake. Jake, if you're watching, Jake, I know you are. I do have a Ravens helmet for you this week.
Just
so
for you.
I brought that in. Represent the teams that we've been.
And I got some
on here.
Kleenexes too.
I
for
don't
you.
own a Packer one yet, so that hasn't made it. And we might have a Detroit fan that might make their debut in a couple weeks, and I don't know if I do not have a Detroit helmet yet. I don't know if I can buy that one either. So we'll get there. But anyway, with that, Kev, that kind of wraps our Week 11 game recaps. Let's head right into our tent talk.
911, what's your emergency?
And of course, like we've been doing this season, we're gonna rip right through our tent talk. Oh, that's a swim move. We're gonna swim move. We're gonna
Swim move in
rip
it.
right through
Rip
our
move.
tent talk. Haha. Now I just said temp talk, so I ruined it. Anyway, injuries. JJ McCarthy, rookie quarterback for the Vikings, undergoes surgery on an already repaired knee. I think they were just taking out some swelling, something going on, whatever. That sucks. Will Ricard to IR for the Vikings, our kicker. So Parker Romo, what's his name?
Sounds like it.
Last name Romo.
Last name Romo. That's all I got
That's all
here
I
too.
know.
He came to the game all swagged up.
Did
though.
he?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Good
He had
for
the
him.
cowboy hat
Good
on.
for him.
I liked it.
Good for him. Heck yeah. So Romo it is for the Vikes going forward at kicker. The only other big injury news I could find is that Nick Chubb is set to return for the Browns, also against the Steelers, which I believe is when he went down last season.
Okay.
So that should be, I mean, Browns need to have him. I don't think they're going to be making much noise the rest of the season, but
You lost faith in Jameis?
no, Jameis is my guy, man.
All right.
But I don't think with the Ravens and the Steelers in their way, not this year. They need to get that going. Wait, Jameis need to be starting at the beginning of the season.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Anyway,
Nick Chubb played the last 4 weeks.
did he? Why is that just come? Oh, you know what? It's a big deal because he's returning to play the Steelers.
Oh,
that's what it is.
against them.
That's why I have it
gotcha.
down. My bad.
The
He's correct.
I was
Anniversary.
confused.
He's correct. He
I
did
thought you
return.
meant coming
leg
back.
There's a lot of
falling off.
fantasy
I was
people
like,
freaking out right now, like, no, I've been
what
using
is
them.
going on?
Yeah, for sure. Good call, though. Good call.
Yeah, I was sweating. I was like,
Wait till we get
How
to
did
this
I not
math
know
on the
this?
picks later.
yeah,
Calm
I got him
down.
on 3 teams.
Calm down. We're gonna double check. I got to double
No,
check
it's
that by
not.
the way.
Just
but-
say we did.
All right, yeah. Danny Dimes to the bench in favor of Tommy DeVito this week. So that's interesting. We can talk about that in a minute.
I'm now a Giants fan.
Huh?
Now I'm a Giants fan this week.
Oh, just because they're starting Tommy. Huh?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Joe Douglas, Jets GM fired after 5 years. That was bound to happen. A lot of people were kind of waiting for that.
I don't think it was his fault, but
I don't either, and I don't think it's going to change anything for the Jets
Nope.
currently. Deion Sanders came out and kind of said that there's a lot of rumors of him making the jump, leaving Colorado to maybe take a look at that potential Dallas job that doesn't even exist yet.
yeah, Michael Irvin said something
And
today on a
yep,
pod.
yep. And Deion was like, no. Deion pretty much said my quote unquote kickstand is down. I'm happy where I'm at.
Well, he has to say that now.
for sure.
You know.
For sure. So I thought that was funny enough to
Deion always
mention.
says he will not coach professionals
He does.
because he says
that often.
Yes. So, well, I don't
you
disbelieve
think he's telling the
I
truth? You
believe,
buy it?
like he always had on his headband back in the day. I believe that he's telling the truth.
Fair enough.
All right, all right.
Fair
It
enough.
would be so fun to have him in the NFL.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
I think it would there'd be so many good headlines that
His
come
press
out of
conferences would be awesome.
That. Exactly. Post game interviews would just be that'd be sweet.
But reality conversation, if him go to Dallas, they just signed Prescott, so his son's not going to come play for him.
Right.
Nor are they
Right,
going to have an
right.
opportunity probably to even get him.
Well, they could well, the way it's going, they might.
Yeah.
Is it
Travis
like a
Hunter will be there.
LeBron situation where he really wants to coach his son?
And yeah, I mean that's the.
I feel
the
like if you get a
the
shot,
X world wants to tell you us that, but who
Yeah.
knows what
I feel like
X-sphere?
if you get the shot,
Twitter.
you got to take it. If you get a shot to coach the Dallas Cowboys, you're not going to jump at it. Oh, I don't know.
Depends on the money, right? Can he make that
Well,
much
that's
more?
what
He's
I'm-
getting paid right now.
But is
Yeah.
Deion a money guy now? Like,
I probably don't need it.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, he's probably more of a legacy guy, which all the more reason to take the Cowboys job, I feel like. But
So anyway, last bit of news. I got to mention Netflix. I don't know if you guys saw the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. I don't want to talk about the fight so much because we could talk about that and it was
Boring.
not great. But it was more about the Netflix stream. Okay, Netflix is streaming 2 games on Christmas Day for the NFL. They're super proud of that fact.
Ooh.
Are they going to get that fixed in time? Are they going to have streaming issues on Christmas Day when everybody's trying to watch these games? Maybe family time, like Rachel was talking about.
yeah, that
Games are going to
worries me
be
a lot.
on. Are they going to be watchable? You know what I mean? So something to pay attention to as we get closer to Christmas. Honestly,
Why
Yeah.
can't we just watch them on the regular places? We've always been watching these games.
Great
I can't
question.
keep up with this.
Yeah,
I get it.
Kevin
Great
said
set.
I don't like it. I don't have to like it.
This,
I don't like it.
He's right, but
Yeah.
yeah, unbelievable. They're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people watching those games too.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the slate, but it's not bad.
I'm gonna assume though the boxing match, 60,000 people tried to tune in at once, and I don't think the NFL game's gonna be that volume.
Oh, I don't know on Christmas.
On Christmas Day though,
I
and
think
that's
it
the
will.
only game
true.
in
Well,
that time
so
slot.
I gotta
you know
say,
what I mean?
So I'm not gonna disclose the name of the show because it's kind of like a guilty pleasure show. But Netflix came out with a live show
We gotta
like
figure this out.
Yeah.
6 to 8 months ago. It's Love Is Blind.
Oh wow.
They came out. They came out with a live show.
I cannot unhear
It was
that.
supposed to air at 7. They didn't even release like the. They just released the footage because they had so many technical difficulties, and it
Okay.
came out at like 2 in the morning or like 11:30 p.m. So they
Did
already.
you stay up? to make sure.
Yeah,
My
he
wife did.
Yeah, he did.
I may have.
His wife did.
But
Yeah, okay.
all I'm saying
He
is
did.
they had issues in the past with probably a lot smaller audience than the boxing match
Which
and
have
the
still
NFL
not been
match.
corrected then.
And then they knew about that in a big event, and then it still didn't get corrected,
Okay.
and
Uh-oh.
that's a hard one to swallow for as big of a company.
Maybe all the money they made off the fight, they'll just buy some more servers.
I hope so.
Thanks, Cody. Now, Banter at the Boys will never be sponsored by Netflix. Way to be, homie. Yeah. So
Anyway,
anyway,
sponsored by Love Is Blind. All right, I'm done.
with that,
I'm
Kev,
done.
let's head to Bonehead Move of the Week.
Genius.
And the Bonehead Move of the Week. Nobody knows up here what I'm about to say. Honorable mention, though. AT&T Stadium with the piece of metal falling from their ceiling. That's pretty wild. Apparently, it was just a cover for a cable tray, up in the rafters that got blown off by the wind since the roof was open. But,
They haven't opened it in 2 years, I heard.
well, maybe we know why now. But no, real Bonehead Move of the Week. It's probably a combination for me of the NFL and the refs. Let's get this stuff figured out. There's way too many questionable calls every single week, right? And that's a human element of the game.
Yeah.
There's going to be close calls. There's going to be mistakes, right? Now you see, example, the MLB kind of going away from the umpires as much. Now they got the automatic strike zone that they can check the calls, right? But not to go on an MLB tangent all of a sudden. My point is JJ was getting a lot of calls this week. And don't get me wrong, right now he's garnered as the best receiver in the NFL, arguably. Not arguably here in Minnesota. We know that. But he was getting a lot of calls, you know what I mean? And some of them, for me, were questionable and soft, for lack of better terms, right?
Yep.
So I think the refs, man, the refs are truly Bonehead Move of the Week this week. It's not just the Vikings team. It's all over. There's too many soft calls. Too many. We got to let these guys play at some point. The refs are dictating the game too much, and you script writers will go crazy with this. Well, it's scripted. That's why. You know what I mean? But I don't think so. But
We know you're watching.
what do you guys think of the refs' performance this season? That's a weird question to ask because most people are gonna be like, "Well, they're crap every season." But truly,
Well, the officials for the Viking game are the notorious for calling the most penalties in every game. I don't know where I heard that, but I heard it.
Okay.
And there were 14 penalties, right? I mean, that's a lot. So maybe it depends on the officiating crew. And then sometimes, you don't see things, but there's a lot of face masks that are. Sometimes things are so obvious and they're not catching them.
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong,
Right.
the speed of NFL is insane. You watch a close-up replay of college Division I, even if it's Alabama, I don't care. And then you go look at the speed of an NFL game. It is faster. It is seriously faster. They do everything so fast.
It's hard.
You could argue there's holding on every play. We've heard that probably our whole lives. There's holding on every play. But it just seems worse this year, by some of the weak calls dictating at key moments in the game.
I mean, I think in general there's been a bunch of weak calls. I think that's just the NFL. They want more offense. Offense is more exciting to watch.
They want more
they're-
Arguably.
Yeah, I agree with that. But they tend to lean on that side of it. My biggest issue is they have this replay assist. Sometimes they use it, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, they pick and choose kind
And
of.
then when the replays, they actually replay the thing, like that touchdown or interception with the Vikings last week. It was like, that's definitely incomplete. I don't how do you guys not?
Against the
see-
Jaguars in the end zone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not even just the Vikings play in general throughout the league. I've seen plays where I'm just like, obviously that's not a catch, but they still call
Here we
it,
are. Yeah, why are you going to have the replay check if you're not even, you know what I mean?
Just the inconsistency on the calls of the replay is bothering me. I know those plays are happening at crazy speeds, so they're going to get missed. The angle, you might be blocked. It's easy to look on the TV broadcast. and
100%.
go,
We're sitting on our couch,
sitting in the Eagles' nest going, yep, I can see that.
Oh.
So, but yeah, just got to be consistent, especially on the replay. You have it. I don't understand it.
man.
So,
Yeah. I think we're experiencing some of the effects of just having it for the first year. So some of these refs are gonna adapt to it really fast. And I think in the future we're gonna see a ton of questionable calls go in the way of letting it play out and then
Replay
relying on the
afterwards, yeah.
replay. And I think that's where some of the
That's what
inconsistency is going to come from.
should happen, though. You know what I
Right,
mean? Yeah.
100%. And I think some refs have just adapted to that, and maybe some of the refs that haven't been in the league as long, or maybe the ones that have been there for longer and are used to it being the old way, are still going to call it, the old way and not so lenient on certain things like that. So, and
They got some old guys still running out there.
Yeah.
You see some of all those refs, I'm like, what are you, 65?
Right. I think the hardest part for the players and the fans to swallow too is like the inconsistency between crews, like Rachel said. I mean, some crews call so much, and you really have to adapt the way you play. So, yeah.
No, for sure. So Kev actually has a question. What is our solution to this? NFL does have a football officiating academy, right? I know MLB does something similar, but theirs is like multiple days. This says 3 to 4 hour clinics. Okay, well, I don't know. That might just be for like if you want to officiate at a lower level is what
Probably,
that might
yeah.
be. But
I just don't think there's as many refs that want to be refs anymore either. So even through that from the high school
Well,
to
they're the most
college,
hated person on the field.
like there's not that development, and who really wants to be yelled at by rich parents the whole day?
there's a good commercial out there showing like a ref getting yelled at walking off the field, and he goes home to his dog and everything's fine or whatever. And
Yep.
I can't remember
Yep.
whose commercial that is, but that was pretty good. But like that's how it is. They live every game like that.
Yeah.
Probably getting booed out of the stadium. So like
Yeah.
probably
One
gets
team's
old.
pissed.
Probably gets old unless you're getting a bunch of money, and I can't imagine they make too much money until you put your years of service.
I'd rather get yelled at on the internet for a bad take.
Well, that's gonna happen.
Well, that's going to be not hard to
That's
do. That'll be
guaranteed.
easy.
Bring it.
With that, Kev, let's move on to our Week 12 preview and picks. And as we head into Week 12, of course, Skull to the Bull, Vikings. But before we do that, Rob using the Cappy again. Don't forget, this episode is sponsored by the Cappy. Get your 4-pack on Amazon. Vikings 8-2 traveling to Chicago, who is 4-6. Rachel, I know you're going to pick the Bears, but why don't you take us away here? What is your pick for this week?
Vikings high.
Yeah.
Vikings, duh.
I mean, like you said, Vikings defense against a rookie quarterback. Yeah. I mean, but it's at Soldier Field. It could be cold, so those are some factors to think about. But, we're going to bring it like we've always brought in it.
For sure.
We're pretty balanced on both sides of the ball.
sure.
I mean, really, I have confidence in everyone, just like KOC does. So
If you
my
got to
take.
predict a score, what are you feeling?
Oh, I think it might be like kind of low, like 20 to 17 or something.
Ooh, that's
20
close.
to 17.
I know. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
It could very well be that close. So that's what I'm scared.
Well, the Vikings are giving 17 points up a week, and the Bears are giving up 18. So,
Makes a lot of
I
sense.
mean, that's right in the numbers where I was kind of thinking. I like baseball scores a little off, more like a 15-13 score or something like that. But
I'm thinking the Bears get 10 this week.
you thinking 10?
Yep. I'll give the Vikes 17.
So why do you think the Bears are what are they going to do successfully against the Vikings?
Well, I think Caleb Williams is just showing flashes of being a good quarterback. I think just moving throughout the season, he looks a little bit better and better.
All right.
Looks a little bit
would
more
agree with that.
comfortable.
But you see that number one overall talent there.
Oh, that I don't know about, but he looks pretty good. I mean,
Okay.
number one overall is a tough ceiling to touch, right?
It is.
But yeah, I mean, he looks like he's using his legs well. We know that's his strength, and like when he's had to scramble out of the pocket in the last few weeks, he still does go back for like 10 yards and then gets sacked right away, which is a tough one to swallow, I'm sure, as a Bears fan. But there's a lot of times when you see him come out into the open, and like last week he did that on 3rd down and like 12, and then he nailed a pass to Odunze. So
Yeah, he looks like a little like Kyler. I see a lot of
exactly
Kyler
right.
when he's
Just a little bit
out of that
Just a
pocket.
little bit bigger bone.
yes, I think we're gonna make him run like 3 miles back laterally.
Yeah.
But I think he'll make at least one drive work where they can get it into the end zone, or it could be a defensive touchdown. With the Bears defense,
So you're going Vikes?
I'm going Vikes 17-10.
All right, Tyler, you have an opinion on how badly the Vikings are gonna win this one?
Nope. Yeah, no, just Vikes.
Just
That's
Vikes
it.
straight
That's
up. I
Vikes
like
going.
it.
Yep.
No,
I,
you're
I
messing around.
don't gotta explain
easy.
nothing there.
It is.
I ain't gotta explain nothing. Rob, you're going Bears.
No, I'm going Vikings.
Oh.
I think the Vikings definitely are gonna give the Bears some fits in establishing a running game. We struggle typically in Chicago. That longer grass slows us down. We're kind of a turf team typically. We're definitely going to need to establish the running game, but the Bears got a decent defense. It's going to be a tight battle. But I think if we can give Caleb some looks, especially on defense with Flo's defense, that will confuse him, maybe get a couple turnovers going. I don't know exactly how the weather is going to be, but I think it's going to be in the 30s. So
It'll be chilly.
It's going to be chilly. So that's a different football when you're playing in cold temperatures. You can't chuck the ball as much. But
Hits hurt more.
To Jefferson and the
It is.
Sasquatch Hawkinson, you can.
So, but I think we have enough
Sasquatch
firepower offensively, with especially up the middle. I think we can give their linebackers some fits with TJ, and then maybe a little Powell. I have a feeling Powell's going to have a nice game this week. So just being that nice slot receiver because they got pretty good corners on the side too. So I'm going Vikes.
Going Vikes.
Score?
Pretty confident.
Third-
Vikes. Yeah.
third row
What's your score then?
Oh, I'm going 15-13.
15-13.
Just a cold weather.
That's awesome.
match.
Wow.
One safety
Yeah.
in there. Or what's the
Powell's going to catch a
15?
touchdown, and then we're going to get Aaron Jones is going to have a little screen pass for a touchdown, and then 2-point conversion.
Oh, okay.
We sneak
I
one in
like
when the
it.
Bears aren't looking.
So you think we're going to come back then? We got to go for 2 to make it a...
No, we'll be up the whole time.
Okay.
Yep.
I
In
like
control
it.
of the game the whole
Yeah,
time, like
yeah.
we all know and expect from the Vikings. Go to the
Bears will score a late touchdown, but we'll still be up by 2, and then that's how the game's going to end.
Fair enough.
It is our third road game in a row. Do you think
It
we
is.
can go 3-0 in this road,
Yep.
whatever this is?
Road
Roadie.
series.
Yes, this
and a
road
roadie.
series. Thank you.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think the Vikings absolutely will get the dub and then come back.
But that is a true
Victor's
concern.
3-0.
Road games are tough, and if we
are.
come out 3-0,
And Chicago's gonna be tough.
So yeah, that's a good point, Rachel. The 3-0 road series, you don't get that very often.
Do you guys know, do they go right from the last game to this coming
Yeah,
game?
I would reckon.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I
So they've
think...
been gone from their own home for the 3 weeks. Does that start to wear on you a little bit? Like if you get homesick at all, I know they're professionals, but they're also human beings, right? Like,
Right.
God, I kind of want to sleep in my own bed.
No,
Well,
they
they're
come back.
here.
Yeah.
They don't
Do they
just
come
stay.
back? Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
for
got to
sure they do.
practice and
Oh, yeah, then they go
rehab
back
and
up,
rest.
yeah.
They had Monday off. They come home right after the.
Yeah.
Man,
There
I
you
don't-
go. So I
but
don't
yeah,
think
they're
Dudes,
here.
they
were
They
sleeping
don't-
in their
dudes
own
all
bed.
day.
Yeah, I know.
It's just
mean,
like a 55-minute flight.
It's a
They're
lot of
like,
travel, but
"Nah."
Yes,
these guys
that's
are
true.
riding
Chicago's
like on their
literally
own
like 50
plane. It's luxury travel. I don't know how
Maybe one
how
extra
tough
night in
that is on
Nashville,
them.
little old
Yeah,
Broadway.
exactly. I don't. Yeah, I like the thought, but from the outside looking in too, or before the season even, this was probably our easiest 3-game away stand.
Oh, totally
statistically.
agree.
I mean,
The schedule,
the
it was
Jags,
definitely
the
nice
Titans,
there.
and the Bears are solid for us. So
Yeah.
All right, moving along to our second game. By the way, everybody else in our standings here picked the Vikings to win this game as well. Before we close out the show, we'll give you an update on what those standings look like. The next game, though, 49ers 5-5 traveling to Green Bay, who's 7-3. Green Bay trying to stay afloat at 7-3, if you believe it, but trying to stay afloat in the NFC North. Let's see. Did I start with you last time, Cody?
nope.
No, I did start with Rachel. So, Cody, yeah, you start, buddy.
I'll take the Niners.
Taking the Niners in Green Bay. Why?
I think the Niners, McCaffrey came back, I think that adds a big piece to their offense.
Just not the last 2 weeks.
What's that?
He just hasn't done anything the last 2 weeks.
I know, but he's going to get
there.
better and better.
All
They're going to
right,
kind
all
of figure out.
Well,
they've
you
been-
said he added a bunch to the offense, which he
does-
hasn't.
Yeah, no. Well,
He's just trying to beat you
He's
up,
one of
yeah.
the best offensive players in
Sorry,
the
I gotta
NFL,
ride you a little
so-
bit, Cody.
No, I love it. No, I think as one of the best offensive players in the NFL, he can be a huge
Can be.
addition
Yep.
to their offense.
Electric.
And as a Vikings fan, I would love to see that come out against the Packers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's about time. The Niners really need this game, actually. Believe it or not, they
Yeah.
really need to get this going. This is a game I would normally have picked 49ers all day, coming into the season. I guess I'm talking now. I'll just go with that.
Keep rolling.
I'm going with the Niners. I'm sorry. No, actually, I'm going with the Packers at home. I think they showed me enough last week. I'm a little bit scared of their pass defense. Jair did go down. I don't know if he's going to be healthy for this week or not. But also, the San Francisco offense isn't scaring me right now. Now, if CMC goes off, that's what they need. They need that to happen this week because Debo's not doing it.
Where's he
Purdy's up and down, but he's more up than down, I'd say. He's not horrible right now. But the Niners look lost right now. And again, traveling to Green Bay, the Packers have had some good games this year, and I don't know. I think they're motivated to stay afloat in the really tough contested NFC North right now. So I'm going Packers, and I'm only one of 4 other people to go Packers at the moment. Everybody else is going Niners. I mean, our 2 Packer fans, right? Avi. And then Graham also went Packers, and Jake went Packers. Everybody else has gone Niners, including Cody over here.
That's interesting. Rachel, do you have a feeling on what direction you want to go with this
Well,
one?
I think it's tough because Kittle was out last week. He's a baller, right? He's also like the hype man. He's just, he wants to be a wrestler one day, but he's got the vibes. Yeah. So I think it depends on injuries, right? Who's going to be playing, who's not playing.
For sure.
Purdy.
I like their defense a little better than Purdy. He's a pretty boy, and he's going to play. I like the San Francisco defense a little better, but I think
agree.
Jordan Love is playing well, and they find ways to finish the games, right? Are they 7-3 right now, Packers?
They are, yep, correct.
So they're finishing games. They're finding ways to win, and San Francisco does not really play well in Green Bay.
That is
So
true.
you're taking the Packers.
I'm taking the Packers.
It's okay if you need to throw up after you said that.
I did.
I usually do
I
it
hope I'm
every
wrong.
time.
I'd be fine if I got that one wrong.
This is the first time I've not thrown up after saying their name. Rob,
I know.
clean it up for us.
I know. Sadly, like you said at the beginning of this year, I would have picked the 49ers to go. Purdy did hurt his throwing shoulder this last week. He was wrapped on ice, and that right there is going to make me pick the Packers. Just the cold weather, I don't think the 49ers are flowing. I think it's still going to be a good game. It could go either way, but I'm just going to pick the Packers because it's at home. And like Rachel said, they typically don't play well at Lambeau. And I feel like it's actually going to be a Josh Jacobs game. If they can get him 20 touches, I definitely think they're going to win this game.
This is a pretty even split on our
First time probably in a
standings
while,
here.
you know?
This is first time for a Packer game, I think.
Usually, yeah.
Vikings game, we pretty much up in Vikings. Obviously, they're 8-2. But like Packer game as well has usually we've been leaning Packers, but this is a split right here. So this will be interesting to see. We'll see.
I think Purdy's regressed a little bit is what I'm kind of looking at. I've watched a little
I'm
bit
not ready
of
to
film.
say that yet.
Well, I just feel like he's not pushing the ball down the field as much anymore. I feel like he's lost a little confidence in that aspect, losing Ayuk for the year. And I don't know if he has enough trust yet in Jennings on the one side, on the outside, and then the rookie Pearsall.
Pearsall. Yep.
Pearsall being a consistent. And
Florida, yep.
Debo just hasn't really shown up in the slots.
He's been kind of scary, like unavailable.
The
Like, I don't know.
injuries
He's
are
not
getting to him.
healthy.
Yeah,
for real.
yeah, exactly.
Debo's been struggling with shoulder issues, hip issues, sick. He was the flu. I mean, he needs
He was
like
Bonehead Move of the week last week.
Yeah.
They got to wrap him in
he's not
bubble wrap.
healthy.
Yeah.
for sure.
So, sadly, I'm going Packers. I wish I could say something else, Tom.
But we
Browns.
got to split, though. Well, for the most part, Mike didn't get us our picks. Mike, get us your picks, homie.
Yeah, Mike, we're
we haven't
calling
had
you
your
out.
picks for like 5 weeks, so we're calling you out in a nice way. Actually, in a passive-aggressive way, because we're from Minnesota, so that's how it works here. Okay, next game. Arizona Cardinals traveling to the the Seahawks.
Sea chickens.
Sea Chickens are back at home against Arizona.
Which we haven't talked about all year. So this is kind
We
of
talked about the Sea Chickens early.
Yeah, but
we
not
talked about
Arizona.
Arizona recently. They've been kind of going.
Yep.
Well, you went to Mexico, so
True, sorry.
you don't know. But yeah.
so did Rachel. So
I know we don't know
So
anything.
they don't know. This is a tough one. This is tougher than people think.
Division game.
I know division game. I know the Seahawks haven't been doing as good as of late.
But they won last week against the 49ers.
They did win the division game last week against the Niners. They're kind of looking to get back on track here after starting, 4-0 they started? Started real hot. I've been on the Cardinals bandwagon. I think I don't know. I like them a little bit, probably just because I saw their stadium last year, and that was fun. It's a cool place.
You're skewed.
I am skewed.
You like Marvin Harrison Jr. I do.
I
like
Marvin
seeing
Harrison.
him.
I like
It's fun.
Kyler Murray.
Yep.
They got some nice pieces
Yeah,
there.
it's exciting.
I think the Cards come back down to earth a little bit this week, though. I think this is close, though. I'm taking the Sea Chickens, and it kind of hurts because I do think the Cards. My head's getting in the way. My heart's telling me the Cardinals, but my head's telling me the Sea Chickens. So I'm going with. Sorry, Hawks fans. I'm going with the Seahawks.
You're going with the Seahawks.
I'm going with the Seahawks, and that's a tough Seahawks. Right now, I'm one of two people to also go with the Seahawks at the moment.
And it's at home. So
It's at home in Seattle,
the
which is
12th
an
man.
extremely tough place to play. Don't care who you are. I don't care how bad the Seahawks are. They love showing out for their team. But Rob, who you got? Arizona traveling to Seattle.
I am going with Rachel's sexiest man alive,
Marvin Harrison Jr.
and the Cardinals. They're flowing right now. I think
flowing.
I think Murphy's playing some nice ball. Connor's the running back, him and Benson have been a nice little combo to keep the little play action going. And their defense has kind of surprised me this year. So I'm going Cardinals this game.
Going Cardinals this game. Okay, fair enough. Rob with the Cards.
I'd have to agree, man.
Cody going Cards.
Exactly what he said. And you and I are going to have to bring boxing gloves. We're disagreeing on all of our picks here.
Are we?
End of the
So
season
far, I
podcast
think.
boxing match. Here we go.
Besides the Vikes.
Besides
No-
the Vikes, obvious.
No, yeah, I think I said it a couple weeks ago. The Cards still look like a good high school football team. They run the ball really well. They pass when they kind of have to and need to, but yeah, their passing game looks good. So I'm taking the Cardinals.
Taking the Cardinals.
It's gonna be a good game though.
I agree. I think it's gonna be close.
I think it's
it's
gonna be a
another one of
1-point
those
game.
games that could go either way,
Yep.
right?
Within a field goal.
So yeah, I'll be 5-0.
I mean, they both have mediocre records, so we'll see if one team's going to excel more than the other, but we'll see whose mediocre is better on Sunday, right?
Fair enough. Yeah,
why
I'm
they
going to
play
pick
the
the
game.
Cards too because I think they have some momentum and
I do.
they're just maybe a little younger squad. I don't know if that's really true, but that's in my mind what I think.
Yeah, sounds good.
And
enough.
I'm just going to roll with that.
Yeah.
Maybe a little better defense, but it's going to depend on the day. And being in Seattle, sometimes you get that home field advantage. I don't know. If Geno Smith has a good day, they're toast. So
A little
We'll
food
see
for
what
thought.
happens.
It's a coin
Yeah.
flip.
Yeah, food for thought. It's a coin flip in Vegas. You know, it's at 1 for Seattle, but they're at home. So
Seattle.
Vegas says this will be a tight game.
There we go. According to Vegas. So
And to me, I think it's gonna be a tight game too.
yeah, I think we all agree up here that it could be a tight game. The more mediocre team will win, though,
The more
or the better
less
mediocre.
mediocre.
Team. The less mediocre.
yes.
There we go.
Yes.
So, Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the LA Rams this week. Rob, I'm going to start with you. Every single person so far, other than the four of us sitting up here because we haven't picked yet, have chosen the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, so am I. I think they're on a hot train right now. Even though the LA Rams, we've been talking about all this year.
They're an interesting
They're a
squad.
team.
They're hard to read.
They're really hard to read with Puka and Cutback. God, I almost want to go Rams, but I just can't go against Philly's defense right now. I think they have the cornerbacks to line up against Puka and Cup. And with the defensive line, I don't think the Rams will establish a running game to get that play action going. And then I think the Rams are sus a little bit on the defensive side where Philly has so much talent, and I don't think they can stop Barkley.
And right, true. I mean, Saquon's going to be a tough guy to stop. Rachel, who we got?
I mean, I agree. Their defense is not going to be able to stop all the weapons they have on offense for the Eagles. And I think the Rams do play good at night. They like the spotlight, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to get it done.
Not enough to get it done.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cody, what we got?
Well, I know I said earlier that the Eagles have one of the best offenses, and the Rams are one of those teams that have a pretty darn good offense. But I think their quarterback and their tight end are where they lack a little bit, and I think that's where the Eagles can, like you said, Rob, just open things up a little bit more in the middle and be a little bit more successful. So I think the Eagles as well.
Eagles for Cody.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Man, Cooper Kupp and
That's where
Nakua,
you
though,
are.
that's
I can't believe you
dangerous.
said that.
I know.
Yeah. Ugh. God, yeah, that's disgusting.
They're my least favorite team, or most hated team, but I got to pick them. It is what it is. Packers are second. I picked them too. So.
Yep. Boo.
Well,
They have to take that.
up to me. Philadelphia traveling to LA Rams. Well,
I feel like a Rams pick coming out of you.
they
Smeltzy
struggled a
wants to be
little
different.
bit. I do. They struggled a little bit against the Patriots. Their defense didn't look as good, but their offense looked stunning. Again, against the Patriots. They're going to bring the Eagles back down a little bit. I'm going Rams again. Yes, to be different, but I don't know. Rams have been a tough game all year. That's the
know.
thing. They're not an easy game. Like if the Vikings played the Rams right now, it'd be like, I'd be
We just
nervous.
lost to him, didn't we?
We did.
We did
2
lose
weeks
to
ago.
him. We did lose to him.
That
so
was the game Christian Darrisaw got hurt. So
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
that weird
Rip.
last play in
That
this first half.
unreal.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yep.
But Cam's been great.
Yes, actually, yeah. Shout out to Cam. He's been actually
yeah,
playing
he's been
awesome
great.
ball for us.
No,
so.
he's
Cam
been great.
Robinson.
Yes,
been great.
Yes.
So yeah, going Rams. I know it's crazy. I'm the only one to take the Rams here, and I will be the only one to get the win right there. So
Okay.
Baltimore also traveling to the LA Chargers. So the Rams play on Sunday night, or maybe it's the other way around. Might be the other way around. But
No, they're Sunday. Rams are
Sunday
Sunday.
night, and then the Chargers turn around and play a home game as well on Monday night.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if New York's done that because they're the only other stadium that shares, right?
Oh, I think you're right. Yep.
So I wonder if they've done a Sunday, Monday, but
Back-to-back primetime games at SoFi. I mean, you better for how much money that stadium costs. But Rachel, who do we got? Baltimore
Oh,
traveling to
man.
play the Chargers.
why me? You know, this
Chargers
is
are getting
tough.
hot too.
I know. I like their defense. I like Harbaugh. Oh, I like him. He's made a difference, right?
oh, he totally
For
has.
sure.
Oh man,
Herbert's the
he
perfect
just
quarterback
knows
for him,
how to
too.
win and get the most out of people. You know, why don't I just go ahead and pick Harbaugh's squad?
Oh, going
That's
to the
ballsy,
Chargers.
but you know, Baltimore's got to show me they can do something more than just, you know, go toe to toe with the Bengals, right? Have a great offense and no defense. So let's see what they got.
Rachel going with the Chargers. I kind of feel that though.
Did you just say taking Harbaugh's squad so that you can't lose this game?
I want Harbaugh's squad.
It's Jim versus John.
Yeah, it's a Harbaugh Bowl
Yeah, the
again.
Harbaugh Bowl, I like
oh
it.
man,
I was
that's
like, which
cool.
team does
She,
that
she can't
mean?
lose. She picked Harbaugh.
Yeah,
Not
I
the
can't
Super Bowl
lose.
this time.
Yeah,
Yeah, the lights won't turn off. Anyway, yeah. So Cody,
Yeah, go.
Oh, I'm taking Harbaugh's squad as well. No question about it.
Everyone's taking Harbaugh.
Yeah, no, I'm taking the Ravens. They let me down once this year, but
it's not going to happen again, though. Huh?
This is the redemption date.
yep, and I think they're off. They're hot and cold, and we just saw them cold, so I think we see them hot next. I don't think the
Look
Chargers.
at that logic.
I don't think the
That's
Chargers have the
airtight.
same defense that the Steelers do either, and it takes a
For
pretty
sure not.
darn good defense to shut them down. So,
Fair enough.
yep.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough to stop Derrick Henry. I mean, obviously Lamar Jackson is a threat as well. But I'm also a big Chargers fan, so I'm gonna go Chargers here because it's the first time I've been able to talk about them. So I'm excited to talk about the Chargers.
That's his second favorite
next
team
week.
in the
It
NFL.
is. I'm gonna
so
come in all
that's
Chargers,
why.
all Chargers garb next week.
Ooh, what color are you
Win or
going?
Wow.
loss. Win or
Wow.
loss.
Wow.
So that's risking it for the business.
You going that baby blue or what?
Yeah. Baby
All
blue.
right,
Oh, yeah,
all
for
right,
sure,
all
for
right.
sure, for sure.
Eek.
I'd like a white LT jersey though. Somebody find one for me. But anyway, yeah, Chargers all day for me. I think they're feeling a little bit better right now. They're kind of getting hot at the right time, kind of trending again, also trending in the right direction. Ravens, yeah, that defense does scare me, but that offense is also really scary. So I don't know. This another game that could go either way. Honestly, this whole week could go either way other than the Vikes. But
Yeah, I'm going blowout this game. I'm going
Whoa.
35-10. I'm thinking the Ravens are going to dominate this
Whoa,
game.
whoa.
I don't think the Chargers definitely have
What is
anything
going
on
on?
offense
No.
to push the ball enough. So, yeah,
they
I
don't
think
have the Chargers don't have anything on offense to push the ball.
not enough. I think they're going to get down big and then are going to have to throw the ball. And I think that the Ravens defensive line is going to eat.
J.K. Dobbins is rejuvenating his career at the moment.
Yeah.
That's their only chance.
we
for
could
him to
talk
win the
for a
game,
long
but-
time about
but
him, I feel.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think the
A lot of
Ravens are going
injuries
to come
go
up.
over.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
you're
just-
right. The Ravens have a hot offense. They do.
Yeah, but
They're
I just,
ballers.
yeah, it's in the bright lights. I think Lamar's in. He's
They
going to come
scored
out.
16 points last week
Yeah,
Steelers
against the Steelers defense, but
Yes.
we're gonna ignore that part.
yeah, exactly. So,
Anyway.
I'm going blow out this game. That's how I'm feeling. I think Lamar's going to come out fire in this game after last week's disappointing
Fair
loss.
enough. Yeah, they're gonna be fired up for sure. And King Henry is always gonna be tough to stop. So, before we move on, before we close this thing out, Kev, if you want to throw up that scoreboard for us,
Little update.
essentially, a little update. Rachel did pick them on I don't know what ESPN or what
Yeah,
did you pick?
ESPN.
Yeah, ESPN. So we did let her be included here
We qualified
last
her.
week. We qualified her.
Thank you.
She doesn't qualify to be officially second yet until next week when she goes 5-0.
2-week minimum.
2 week minimum. 2 week minimum. But at the moment she is technically second, but 2 week minimum. So Tyler takes the cake at second, but Dan going 5-0 for the second week in a row. Dan has been perfect so far.
Daniel.
10-0. Good for you,
The
Dan.
Magic Man.
He is.
Magic Man
He's going to be
Dan.
in trouble this week. I'm going to tell you that.
Soft spoken brings a big sword, though.
Soft spoken brings a big sword. All right, so Dan leading the way, followed by then Tyler at the 725. Jake, our Ravens fan, taking the cake technically at third right now with a 673 win percentage. Trey, our fella who watches more hockey than football, I guess, to say the least. Trey coming in at fourth right now to 650. Good for you, Trey.
Maybe I should watch less football. I'd do better at picks.
Ben coming in at 645, our Packer fan, who picked the Vikings to win this week, just so you know. Tied for seventh, Smeltzy and Rob. Smeltzy listed first, as you see. That's me, as it should be. At 636 win percentage, Rob and I are tied. We've been going at it all season.
I like it,
We
though.
can't seem to get away from each other. And here we are,
And I feel
Whatever,
like
it's a
we
thing.
pick different picks all the
I
time.
know.
We're-
It's-
Hand check.
You'll go up a game, and then I'll go up a game. It'll fluctuate. Matt bringing in eighth place right now with a 620 win percentage. We have a tie for ninth with Graham and Cody sitting at 600.
well, they fallen a little bit.
Get it
All
to-
right, all right.
I'm working on
Get it
it.
together.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Well,
Just keep picking the Vikes. That's a guaranteed win every week.
I'm
though.
either gonna surpass you this week in win percentage, or I'm gonna
Well,
get
it's true, 'cause we
very
picked-
far behind.
We picked
'cause
mostly opposite. So.
Ooh, I like
I think
it.
everybody but the Vikes.
This is the separation
yep,
week.
yep.
I like it.
That's why I'm going to climb. Dom bringing up the rear at the moment. He's in 11th place, technically, with a 400 win percentage. Dom looking for a big week here. So that is it right now for Banter with the boys. Dan, staying perfect. Unbelievable.
Good job,
Go
Daniel.
Dan.
Good for you. With that, I mean, that wraps our show. Rachel, thanks for being on. That was
Thank
super
you.
fun. Thanks for
you.
being the first female on Banter with the boys ever.
I appreciate
it.
being here representing the ladies.
Represent the ladies and the Vikes, obviously.
Obviously.
Skull to the bull.
Yes.
Cody, again, thanks for being on again, brother. We hope to see you again very, very soon, maybe even next week. Right?
Heck yeah, it's always a blast, man. Thank you guys for having me.
And what time is Love Blind on? So you can tell the whole.
It's on. You can watch it whenever. It's on Netflix.
Anytime you want.
Anytime you want.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna be getting texts from you like on Tuesday. Did you see what she did?
No, you won't. It won't be me.
No, he won't. He's got a hunt. Rob, like always, thanks for being here again this week. We're here the rest of the season.
It's been
They gotta
fun. I
listen
love
to
it.
us.
We're starting to get down to crunch time. It's starting to playoff positions are starting to, get established.
Starting to get real.
So yeah,
Starting to get real.
Let's keep her going.
Keep her going. With that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe wherever you listen to the Banter, whether that's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And don't forget to hit Amazon for your 4-pack of Cappies. The Cappy, excuse me. And with that, we'll see you guys next week.
Skull.
Skull to the ball.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Tune in next time for more Banter with the boys.